Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. So we have done team testing on our own account. We've also monitored the Yapala Discord for a couple of hours, watching the top teams people have posted, and I am going to show you basically a compiled list of the team lineups people ran, the charms they ran, and what I would recommend depending on which heroes you have. We're going to lead it off by looking at the infographic made by Yapala, which is pretty accurate and will give like a good overview of the teams that you can try. And we're going to lead it off with the team number one. So for the team number one, there are two different versions if you have Harak. If you have Harak builds, you'll either want to use Rhaenys' team or Rhymes' team, one of these two teams. So you're going to look at the team formation here. For Rhaenys' team, it will be Illusion Frester in the upper left, Real Frester in front of Harak, Faye in front of Atalanta, and Hugin in the back right corner with Core Force spell onto Hugin. Now, if you're going to run Rhymes' team, you're going to have Real Frester and Illusion Frester on the right and left, respectively, Hugin in front of Atalanta, Faye in front of Harak, and this is with the Dragon Roar spell. Now, for some people, Rhymes' team is doing better. On average, though, however, Rhaenys' team is a little bit better than Rhymes' team, but you should try both of them if you have Harak on your account. Now, as for the charms of this team, Harak can have either balance charms or butcher charms. Both are working, and it could just be a matter of RNG, what ends up getting the higher score for you. So you can stick to either one. Personally, I use balance charms. I got my highest score on Rhymes' team. However, I just think it's a matter of RNG. I could have probably hit on Rhaenys' team as well. So either balance or butcher for Harak, both are working, and you can do your own experimentation with that. Now, as for the other heroes, Fresto. So sorcery charms of Fresto are fine. However, some people recently have been saying sturdy charms, which are the blue shield, might be better. And this could apply to all of the teams. So this is something you can definitely do some experimentation with if you would like to. Otherwise, you can stick to sorcery. Hugin is simple. Blast charms on Hugin are the best. Faye, honestly, recovering charms, which are these green leaf charms, those are going to be considered the recommended for Faye. And for Atalanta, you need Butcher Charms. Butcher Charms are important for Atalanta. They are better than Overloaded Charms for this Ravaged ROM. So do get those Butcher Charms on Atalanta. And that is basically it. So moving on to the other teams if you don't have Harak. Now, if you don't have Harak, first you can look at Rhymes' team and swap out Harak for Sinbad. This is the first swap you should try, and this should be your overall top team if you don't have Harak. So it will just be Sinbad behind the Faye. As you see here, this is a swap from Harak to Sinbad. You'll have Faye in front of Sinbad, no Harak. This is the team that you can run and do some testing with it. Now, for Sinbad charms, sorcery are considered the top pick. However, you can do experimentation with Gale as well. But sorcery are a safe bet for that. Now, for some other alternative versions, we have Krull's team. So Krull's team is also a no-Harak team. It could be the best option for you. Real Frester up in the front and Illusion on the upper left. Hugin in front of Atalanta, Faye in front of Muriel. So the only new hero here is going to be Muriel. So when it comes to Muriel's charms, this is still a matter of debate. There hasn't been enough testing done yet. So you can go for acute charms. You can try something else on Muriel. See which one does the best for you. But yeah, that basically will be up to just a bit more testing. And you can do your own experimentation if this is the team that you select. And Atalanta and all of these teams can work at lower copies. She can even work at Mythic. She can work at Legendary Plus. However, of course, the higher upgraded you have her, the more damage she will deal, and also the better she can survive. Because there are survival issues of Atalanta in these teams. Okay, now finally we have Rhaenys' team. This is a very good team, and I think this may be one of the good options you can try for lower upgraded account. Because here you have Lucius healing and shielding, you have Faye healing overall, and then Hugin shielding. So this team is going to be able to survive a bit better. This is going to be with the Core Force spell on the Hugin in the back, Real Frester in front of Hugin, Illusion Frester in the upper left, Lucius in the upper right, Faye in front of Atalanta. And as for charms, Lucius charms recommend are Mystic charms to give him the haste and skill power. So definitely you can go for that, or just give him a Mythic quality bonus. That should be fine. And Faye, if you're at a lower level upgrades, you may want to try the sturdy charms onto Faye, the blue shield. That has been reported to do maybe a bit better for lower upgraded accounts. However, recovering charms should be fine as well. Or even just a mythic quality bonus if you can't get either of them. So this is basically the final team, other than a couple more teams I will show you. But this is the final one you can try depending on what heroes you have. Now for team number two, the best team you can run is the Zanie team. If you have Zanie as Supreme Plus or above, you should run this Team VN team. This is the top performer. Just using Sonya to buff up Zanie and Zanie's turret. Her other turret is going to be right in the back. And then you have Rowan in the back left corner. This is with the light call healing spell. Now, as for charms, Sonya will want arcane charms, which you probably already have. Zanie will want gale charms. Gale charms, from the testing so far, you can see on the infographic, sorcery is also a recommendation for Zanie. They seem to be a bit close. However, gale charms do seem to be a bit better than sorcery charms on Zanie. So I recommend gale on Zanie, arcane on Sonya. And for me, I had wizard on Rowan. We got a really good score. But also, yeah, you have iron wall here. You can run a multitude of charms on Rowan. It doesn't really matter that much. Even mythic quality bonus can be enough, but I personally do prefer wizard. Now for the other version of team 2, this is going to be, if you don't, so this is another Zanie team. However, it's not as good as the first Zanie team. So basically, this is going to be a swap team. So let's say you do not have Zanie, or your Zanie is low upgraded. Then you're going to want to run Merrily, Sonya, and then rather than Zanie in this tile, you're going to replace her for Sinbad, if you have Sinbad available, or you can replace for Rowan, you can replace for Walker, and actually Walker does seem to be the best choice. Walker, Sonya, Merrily, if you're going to run this team number 2. That is going to be a good option, and Walker will want the Butcher charms. Merrily will want the Overloaded charms, so that's good. Merrily will stick with the Overloaded, but Atalanta does need the Butcher charms. And yeah, so then we basically have it all covered. Okay, so that is a big overview of the teams for Aurora Squad. Now we're going to go and break it down into different team lineups. I'm going to lead it off with a team shared by Fonzoland, because this, look at this lower level of upgrades, but this is why Lucius' team is kind of recommended for the lower level of upgrades. He hit over 20 trillion with a Mythic Atalanta, Legendary Fae, overall just kind of like on the lower side of upgrades, and this is the top team that he ran. And he actually ran it with the Dragon Roar spell. If you take a look back at the infographic, this team is recommended with the Core Forge spell, so you can also try that, or you can try Dragon Roar. Basically, Core Forge and Dragon Roar are both good choices for this boss, and this is what he ended up going with, and he got his top score with this. Yeah, you can just see the different team formations that he ran. This is going to be the Rhaenys' version that we saw with the Lucius, and then for the team number 2, he ran Sinbad here. Like we said, Sinbad is one of the top swaps for this team if you have him available, so you're buffing up Sinbad and Merrily, and with the light call spell. And Sinbad can be sorcery, he can be gale charms. You can try that. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and show you another kind of more budget team, No-Harak team from Frosty. This hit 27 trillion damage for him, over 27 trillion. That's a really good score for a No-Harak team. That's the highest No-Harak team score I have seen. And so this is probably the best No-Harak team you can run. This is what he ran. So he ran Atalanta and Walker on team 1. Real Fresser in front of Walker, Illusion Fresser in the upper right, Faye in front of Atalanta, and Hugo in the back right corner with the Core Force spell, and they're going to be the optimal charms we recommended, which is Butcher on the Walker, Butcher on the Atalanta, Faye with the recovering charms, or you can try Sturdy Sorcery or Sturdy charms onto the Fresco, and then Blast charms onto Hugin. For the team number 2, he didn't even run the optimal team number 2. Because he has Zanie, he should have just run the Sonya, Zanie, Rowan team, and he could have gotten an even higher score, slightly higher. But again, team number 2 doesn't make much of a score difference. It doesn't matter that much. Okay, now before we show you the top score I've seen shared today, I'm going to show you my score. So we ended up getting 29.4 trillion. It was a major RNG fest, honestly, and I ended up getting my top score with this team lineup, which is Rhymes' team number 1. With the Dragon Roar spell, this was my lineup, as you see here, and I ran the charms, which were Butcher onto the Atalanta. I ran Balance onto Harak, Faye with the recovering, and then Fresco sorcery, Blast onto the Hugin. And then for the team number 2, we ran this team, which you already recommended, Arcane Sonya, Gale on the Zanie, and Rowan with the Wizard. You can just see my charm recap over here. And then team, the other Hypergean heroes. And there we have it. That is basically my team. Now, the top score I've seen shared, it isn't the top score of today. Some people have hit 31 trillion. However, this is from AKTube, and he hit, look at it, 30.2 trillion, which is a very solid score. I would be really happy if I could hit that. And we're going to show you what he ran. So he ran the same team number 2 as us, and he actually ended up getting even slightly lower score compared to us on team number 2. So I actually slightly beat him on team number 1, but only by a matter of like 50 billion. Doesn't make a big difference. He hit the RNG, and he was running the top team with the Harak team on team number 1, and that is why he was able to outscore me. So the thing about the Harak team, team number 1, it is very high RNG. Even if you have the same charm lineup as other people, you can still end up getting a much lower score if you don't get the RNG lined up in your favor. But this is what he ran. This is Rhaenys' version, Illusion Fresco in the upper left, Real Fresco in front of Harak, Faye in front of Atalanta, Hugo in the back right corner with the Core Forge spell. And he ended up getting a monster damage report with Atalanta dealing over 15 trillion damage. And as for the charms, we can just go take a look at that. Now, the key thing, he was running Butcher on the No-Harak. So this is the thing. Maybe for this Rhaenys' version, maybe Butcher is better. I'm not sure. I need to do more testing on my own. I did try even Butcher on the team. I didn't hit the good RNG. So there's definitely an RNG factor, and then there's also a charm factor. And because the RNG is so massive, it's hard to tell what is the optimal charm. But he did run the Butcher on No-Harak. And as for the other heroes, the charms that he was running Blast onto the Hugin, Arcane onto the Sonya, Wizard onto Rowan like I was running, Gale onto the Zanie. He was running Arcane onto Faye. I don't know, maybe I'll have to give that a try because I was running Recovery onto Faye. That's kind of one of the big differences. Of course, he was running Butcher onto Atalanta, and those were the key heroes he was running. So anyway, guys, hopefully this is helpful for you to kind of recap the different teams you can try for Aurora Squad. Just keep in mind, there's RNG on all the team number 1s. Team number 2 has hardly any RNG, but team number 1 will always have RNG, whether you run the No-Harak team, whether you run the No-Harak team. But if you have the No-Harak team, it will be even worse RNG, but of course a higher score potential, like was hit by AQTube here, and other people have hit even up to 31 trillion. But on my district, no one has even reached 30 trillion. The highest is like 29.9 trillion, very close to 30 trillion, but not even breaking that mark. So that is the thing about RNG, and I have plenty of Parallel 4 players, full crown players on my server, my district, and it just comes down to RNG and also maybe the charm lineup. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. That is going to be it for this one. If there's any other team that worked for you, feel free to share that in the comment section down below. I hope this was helpful. Hopefully it was easy to follow along with everything. And if you guys are not already a member of my Discord server, please join that. There's a link to that in the description of this video. We talk about everything related to AFK Journey. Also, feel free to use my affiliate link for the official Firelight store if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. The link for this is in the description of this video or a pinned comment. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now.